The day they draft you, boy, your fate is sealed. Run you from Buffalo to Bakersfield. I've been from Sarasota to Saltillo. Played almost 20 years and no one remembers my name.
It's the story, very briefly, of a veteran player in the minor leagues who's spent only a tiny bit of his life in the major leagues, 23 days, who is sent down to a single-A minor league ball club in Durham, the Durham Bulls, basically to hold the hand of a young phenom pitcher who is, as the screenplay says, has $1 million arm and a 5-cent head. And what he doesn't realize, this protagonist of this story, whose name is Crash Davis, is that in Durham there is a woman named Annie Savoy who is sort of the high priestess of the Durham Bulls, who every year selects one player to take into her bed and to tutor toward becoming a great player. And she quickly realizes that the only two interesting people on the team that year really are Crash Davis and his tutee, Nuke LaLoosh. And it's the story of a romantic triangle set against the background of the minor leagues.
I was asked for many years by a number of people on Broadway if I was interested in turning the movie into a musical, and the timing was never right. I was busy shooting a movie or what else. And when Jack Bertel and Laura Stanzik called up, I loved them instantly on the phone. I was Googling quickly their track records, and we just hit it off instantly, and I thought, now's the time.
To learn how to write for the theater, I listened a lot, listened to a lot of good writing for the theater, writing for actors. Because you can write a pop song and it doesn't work on the stage. There has to be some sense of psychological development or a revelation that happens to the character in the middle of the song. Pop songs don't do that. Pop songs say, I love you, and then 3 minutes later they say, I love you, right? It's like, all right, a theater song starts off, I love you, and in the middle goes, but you're with somebody else, and I'm with somebody else, and your ex-husband just killed my, right? So, right? It got complicated. What? We're right in the middle. And that's been fascinating to learn. It's a fascinating way of making music. It's a fascinating way of making art. And it is, frankly, a little bit of a different kind of art altogether. How I need and love this game, far beyond the limits of reason. But I don't want earthly things. All I want is one more season of the good old hit and run, the pick-off play. Bless my soul to heaven, Jesus, Lord, it's finally opening day.
It became really evident, really early on, to me at any rate, that Atlanta was the perfect place for the musical because it's the birthplace of the greatest American love story ever written, Gone with the Wind. And it's the home of one of the greatest baseball teams that exist in America or anywhere, the Atlanta Braves. And so you put those two things together and, you know, Bull Durham.
Oddly enough, Jack and Laura said they had this idea about Susan Werner possibly to do the music, and they weren't sure I'd heard of Susan, and I said, well, I actually have. And I didn't know that much about her, but her first album, she had a song called Montgomery Street, which I flipped out for, and so I then quickly downloaded everything else and called them back and said she's perfect. I think she's perfect, A, because she hasn't done a Broadway show, so she's not inclined to make it sound like other Broadway musicals. You know, it's unconsciously one might. It's her voice. I'm very involved in the music of my movies. Jack's very musical, you know what I mean? And so she brought all this other new, fresh energy and points of view, and I'm crazy about the music.
I feel a lot of gratitude to the Alliance Theater for giving us part of that runway to develop and to see what works and what works less well, and to carve out the stuff that's not quite there and strengthen it. Because that's the stuff that I think in the end leads to successful shows. Enough time to build it strong from start to finish. My bloops just fall into place. When you're winning, it's like your pitcher's got seeing eyes.
Well, you know, if you've ever been in love, or if you've ever had to grow up, or if you've ever loved a sport, or all of those things together. I mean, it's really it's a play about certain coming of age, but it's incredibly funny. It's very sexy. Probably not for the 8-year-olds in your family. You know, the music is fantastic and fun, and you will want to get up and start dancing. And it's just a really fun evening in the theater.
Damn this game, I can't let it end down here, 'cause I